You seem upset.
You're getting way too good at reading human responses, you know that.
Well, I have had a few years of practice.
Yeah, it shows.
Lone Echo is the best VR game you've never played, and I'm going to tell you why you must play it. Plus, it's currently 75% off in the Oculus PC store right now. So let's get straight into it, and remember, we're born to respawn. Before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to all my patrons. I love you truly, madly, and deeply. Lone Echo released in 2017 for the Oculus Rift. That was 4 years ago, and it is still not just one of the best looking games in VR, but one of the actual best games I've ever played, only surpassed by Valve's peerless Half-Life Alyx. So why have you never heard of it and not played it? Firstly, it's an Oculus PC VR exclusive. Secondly, as stated, it did release 4 years ago. Thirdly, there has been a huge influx of new users into VR over the past year because of the success of the Oculus Quest 2, and clearly this game has fallen off the radar. So what is Lone Echo? Lone Echo is a narrative adventure game consisting of puzzle solving, exploration and survival. You play Jack, a service android aboard the Kronos 2 mining station, which is in orbit around Saturn. Jack serves under Captain Olivia Rhodes, or Liv as she becomes known, who has a great fondness for her android compatriot. The first act of the game has you following Liv around as you carry out mundane repair tasks which act as a tutorial for the various gadgets and abilities you have. It also teaches you the basics of movement in zero gravity. This is where Lone Echo starts to get under your skin, as navigating the zero-G confines of the Kronos 2 becomes one of the defining elements of this incredible VR game. Ever see footage of astronauts navigating their way around the ISS? It becomes almost second nature as you push off from handrails, glide serenely around the environment while making micro adjustments with your wrist boosters. A completely seamless, intuitive locomotion system, brilliantly implemented.
Look at that thing. Just incredible.
And it looks incredible. Considering this game is 4 years old, it humbles every other game I've played, with the one exception I've already mentioned. There's a moment when I was floating in space above the ComSat solar panels and just looked back at Kronos 2 and thought, that's it. That's what it's like to float in space. That's exactly what it looks like. I'd also like to mention the sound at this point. The dulling of your senses of sound as you exit into deep space is, well, incredible. A small detail done incredibly well. Moving on, the end of the first act is a genre-defining event for me. There are some spoilers here, so I would suggest you go to chapters in the description and jump ahead if you don't want to know what happens. Okay? Spoilers incoming. An anomaly has appeared and it is screwing with the station's systems. While Jack is out trying to get a sensor array back online, Liv gets her foot trapped in part of the transit system. Cue desperate call to Jack for help and a mad dash to save your friend. And then it happens. The anomaly bursts open. A gigantic alien-like spaceship fills the open space between Kronos 2 and Saturn with disastrous consequences. Simply put, that one event in VR was a genre-defining moment, and it was then that I realised VR was the future of gaming for me. Full stop, the end. Before we get too carried away, I want to talk about pros and cons. Cons first, as I like to end on a positive note. 1. Some of the puzzles are a bit obscure. Keep an eye on your conversation tab. Some of the puzzles require you to look at something, then access the conversation tree. Maybe you should do a visual examination, springs to mind. 2. If you know what to do but don't know how to do it, restart the level as it's probably bugged out. This happened to me as I entered the alien ship and I wasted an hour before realising that a bug was preventing me from progressing. 3. The biomass can be a bit annoying. 4. The second act loses momentum built up in the first act, but the third act makes up for it. Pros. 1. Graphically still head and shoulders above anything released since except Half-Life Alyx. A real powerhouse of detail, atmosphere and location. 2. Storytelling. Jack really cares about Liv. Liv really cares about Jack, and you will end up caring about both of them before the game is over. The harrowing resus scene reminded me of the time I nearly burst into tears when I thought we'd lost Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War 4. Hey, I'm showing my vulnerable side here. 3. I can't stress enough how well movement is done in this game. I feel that if you transported me straight to the ISS right now, I'd be like Tim Peake playing my guitar and being probably the coolest guy on Earth, though technically he wasn't on Earth at the time. 4. The banter between Jack and Liv is genuinely funny and interesting, plus it's interactive and her responses are based on your input, so you'll end up loving both characters. And that's why Lone Echo is so good, because you end up caring about Liv and Jack and wanting to push through the story to find out what happens to them. It's masterful storytelling, wrapped up in a beautiful, enticing scenario with plot twists and turns that are genuinely breathtaking. Just go and buy it now so that you can experience it. It is the best game in VR. And the sequel is so close, so close. You can play this game if you have a VR-ready PC. I have played it via Oculus Link, Oculus Air Link and Virtual Desktop. If you have a PC VR headset like the Valve Index HTC Vive or the HP REVERB G2, the game can be played using Revive. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the game is currently 75% off, which is £10 in the UK, and is an absolute bargain for a great story-driven adventure game that should last you 8 hours plus of gameplay. And I haven't even mentioned Echo Arena. I beg you to go play this game. It is so good. And if Oculus suddenly get a massive spike in the PC VR side of the business, they may not abandon PC VR altogether, as they seem to be doing currently. You'll be doing yourself and us, the PC VR community, a big favour. Plus you'll experience a genre-defining game as well. Win-win for everyone. What do you think? Have you played Lone Echo? What did you think of it? Have you never played Lone Echo? You know the drill. Get involved and comment down below. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button. The algorithm loves the likes, and maybe do all the things popping up around me now. You can also support the channel on PayPal or Patreon, or by going to my shop on tshirtstudio.com and purchasing some of my stylish merchandise. My best chum Surgical has launched his own YouTube channel, so go check out the link in the description below. And I also stream once a week, so keep an eye on the community page on my channel for times and dates. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side.
Nice. Good work, Jack.
What is it?
Nothing. I'm sorry, it was like watching some sort of weird robot rodeo. Cowboy Jack ropes himself a Fury.
Do I get a hat?
A hat, fancy boots, shiny spurs. We'll fix you right up. Till then, you can just leave the Fury where it is. I'll have Hera run some diagnostics on it before I can reconnect the remote link.
Copy that. I'm moving on.
Happy trails, partner.